A standard insurance policy has a few coverages that are listed, right? And so I'll just give you an outline of what they really are. So the first coverage you will see is the hull value. That's the value of the boat, right? So, usually that's what the purchase price is, or maybe if you've done some upgrades, you increase that, and so it'll be what the purchase price is. So you're buying a boat, hull value will be X, and within the hull value, there are two types of policies, which are, I think, very important to understand. First policy, which we always try to recommend in place, is what's called an agreed value policy. We're referring to the hull, and that means that if the boat is insured at $1,000, that's what you're purchasing the boat for, then if that boat sinks or burns down or is a total loss in a covered claim, you will get the agreed value.
Okay.
There is no arguing, there's no nickel and diming. You bought the boat for this much, you're getting the agreed value policy. And a policy will always say agreed value. Now, some people opt to go for what's called an actual cash value policy, which in my experience is somewhat ambiguous and it usually does not favor the boat owner. So an actual cash value policy, it's somewhat misleading because on the line item, on the coverage amount, it will say boat value 500,000. And when you have a claim in that situation, when you have a total loss claim, the insurance company will go and they will usually look online and they will find that same make, model, and boat, and they will find the cheapest one they can find, which could be much lower, could be 350,000. And now that is, they're going to argue with you, and that is probably what you're going to get paid out.
And so evidently there must be a price discrepancy between the agreed upon, what did you call it again?
Agreed value.
Agreed value and the cash value.
Yeah, correct. And usually actual cash values are much cheaper. We see it all the time. People will say, well, this is way cheaper. They'll say, look, the coverages are the same. And I say, well, actually, if you look there, it says actual cash value. You don't really, I mean, the point of insurance, if this is what you need, is to understand what you're insured for, what your investment is. Potentially, you might have a lender, right? You might have on this $500,000 boat, you might have a $400,000 loan. And when, God forbid, your boat sinks and the insurance company settles your claim for $350,000, you're out your 100,000 deposit, and now you're having to go and pay the lender the 50 grand, and you're left with nothing. And some policies are sneaky; they don't actually put it in the coverage. You'll read it within the policy wording, and so something to watch out for is always actual cash value.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I have to go check on mine, but anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm all set because I think I worked with Hugo on my
Marilyn,
sailboat
you are
policy.
an agreed value policy. I know that. Each policy is different, right? Even on an agreed value policy, every policy covers certain things. And, that's something to discuss with your broker, and you can enjoy reading about a 30-page policy. But I think it's really important to do that. A lot of people don't read their policies, and it's important if you're going to be insured to understand what your coverages are.